Hey, welcome to Utah Grizzlies Media Day, the content, easy for me to say, the content day special. Off to a hot start here. I'm Tyson Whiting as we're having a good time here as we are celebrating Media Day for the 30th season of Utah Grizzlies hockey here in the state of Utah. Remember, the first year of Utah Grizzlies hockey was in the 1995-96 season where the Grizzlies won the Turner Cup. We've had a lot of great hockey here in the Salt Lake Valley over the last 3 decades. And from what I hear, hockey is by far the fastest growing sport in the state of Utah. And that didn't just start in the month of April. After all, last season was a great year in terms of attendance for the Grizzlies, and it started well before Ryan Smith made the announcement that they were interested in bringing the NHL to the Salt Lake Valley. The Grizzlies last season averaged 6,003 fans per game. It was the largest average attendance since the 2002-03 season. In fact, last year's attendance total beat 2 different years where the Grizzlies were in the American Hockey League, and the Grizzlies had some outstanding crowds as they had 7 games with crowds larger than 8,200 and 11 games of crowds larger than 7,500. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We'll have Grizzlies trivia all season long. We'll go over all the fun facts throughout the year of the 30 seasons of Utah Grizzlies hockey. Head coach Ryan Kanasowicz returns for his 4th season behind the Grizzlies bench. He's got a record of 108, 96, and 12 in 3 seasons. I got to imagine Ryan Kanasowicz is going to be quite the trivia question, and he's probably going to be multiple times among Grizzlies trivia this year as he is the all-time leader in goals, assists, and points in Utah Grizzlies history. We'll talk with some Grizzlies players along the way. We'll talk with just about every Grizzly player leading up to this season, as we got a big show ahead of us, as we'll have some Grizzlies trivia. We'll talk about the returning players, and we'll get to know some of the new faces for the upcoming season. There are 12 players that are returning from last season's club that have previous Grizzlies experience. Dylan Fitze comes back. He had 21 goals and 20 assists last season. He scored some huge goals for the Grizzlies last year. Remember, he had the overtime game winner against the Newfoundland Growlers back on January 5th. He also had Utah's only hat trick of the season. That came in February in a big win against the eventual Western Conference champion Kansas City Mavericks. And so Dylan Fitze will be back. He'll certainly be a team leader for the Grizzlies. He'll be wearing number 13. We'll get Cole Gallant back in a Grizzlies uniform. Gallant was outstanding last season. He finished 3rd on the Grizzlies with 35 assists and was 4th in points with 47. And, you talk about Cole Gallant might be the fastest of all the Grizzlies players. They are expecting to have a fast team once again for the 2024-25 season. If you're looking for an MVP of the preseason, the Grizzlies did have 2 preseason games last weekend. You'd almost have to look at Mick Messner as being a candidate for that. Messner scored a big 3-on-5 goal. That's right. The Grizzlies were shorthanded 5-on-3. They only had 3 skaters to Idaho's 5, and Mick Messner scored 3-on-5. Messner had 3 shorthanded goals last season, including one of the big highlights in a victory against the Newfoundland Growlers where he scored shorthanded with 2 minutes left in regulation to give the Grizzlies a huge insurance goal. Messner is certainly a workhorse for the Grizzlies last year. He appeared in all 72 regular season games. He was one of 3 Grizzlies players to play in all 72 regular season games. Brandon Cutler and Tyler Penner were the others. So Mick Messner is back, and he had an outstanding preseason, and he's poised for a pretty strong second year with the Grizzlies. Aragon was very impressive in the preseason. He comes back to the club for a second season. Aragon scored a goal on Saturday night in Boise. It was a game that Idaho eventually won 6-2, but Aragon looks like he's faster this season. It looks like he had a great offseason of preparation, and Aragon has certainly been a star of the training camp over the last week and a half. So watch out for him. He'll be wearing number 15, and hopefully we'll talk with him later on today. We also have Luke Manning coming back. Manning showed some real flashes in the preseason. He might even be a top 6 forward for the Grizzlies this year, and it's his first full season as a pro, and I think a lot of people are expecting a big year out of Luke Manning, who will be wearing number 16 for the Grizzlies this year. And we'll also see Blake Wells, a very physical player, 6'2", about 200 pounds. He'll be wearing number 12. Last year he was number 54, and he was number 54 to start training camp, but he'll be wearing number 12 for the Grizzlies this season. I'm really intrigued by the defensive unit, and even though the Grizzlies did give up 13 goals in the 2 preseason games, there's a lot of big names on the defensive unit, including Brian Yoon, who led the Grizzlies in plus-minus with a +11 rating last season. Remember, he was loaned to the AHL's Hartford Wolfpack in mid-January. That was January 18th. And we didn't see Brian Yoon the rest of the year. He spent 18 games with the Hartford Wolfpack and scored 2 goals. So Brian Yoon did make a contribution to the Hartford Wolfpack club, and he had 3 goals and 14 assists in 35 games for the Grizzlies this season. And I think Brian Yoon, who's on an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles, he's going to have a big year. He might even see some power play time, which we saw in the preseason. So Brian Yoon's going to be a big team leader. He was the captain at Colorado College a couple of years ago, and it will be his second season as a pro. Johnny Fairbrother, if he can find a way to stay healthy, knock on wood, he's going to be a solid contributor for the Grizzlies. He had 1 goal and 2 assists in 8 games. He missed the entire 2024-23 season with an injury. And so if Johnny Fairbrother can find a way to stay healthy, he's going to play some big minutes, and I think he's going to have a huge role on this Grizzlies club. And if you are familiar with Grizzlies history, James Shearer was one of Utah's best defensemen in the 2022-23 season. That's right, James Shearer is back wearing a Grizzlies uniform. I think if I remember right, he was number 10 a couple of years ago. This season, he'll be wearing number 74 for the Grizzlies. And even though Shearer is not necessarily a big guy, he's somebody that you can depend on every shift to be in the right place at the right time. He does have a bit of a scoring touch from the blue line. James Shearer usually plays a complete game, and I think he's going to be a team leader. We're not quite sure who the captains are for the Grizzlies. We might find out who the captains are once they roll in here, as we'll talk with just about everybody here later on in this Media Day show. And I imagine James Shearer, who did wear an A a couple years ago, it's possible he'll be wearing a letter for the Grizzlies this season. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Kade Jensen. If he can stay healthy this year, Jensen suffered a season-ending injury on November 8th. He was on his way to a solid year. He was outstanding last season, the preseason. It looked like he was going to have a solid year before his injury, before his season was cut short due to an injury. So 4 returning defensemen for the Grizzlies that have previous experience here in Utah: Yoon, Fairbrother, Shearer, and Jensen. They're all solid players. And I'm really intrigued by some of the new defensemen. You know, you're talking about Daschke, and the Grizzlies have traditionally, over the last handful of years, had defensemen who can really score. After all, Josh Wesley, who's currently playing in Italy, Wesley last year led all league defensemen with 18 goals this season, while Daschke was tied for second in the league with 16 goals. So Daschke certainly, is an established goal scorer in this league, and I got a feeling he's going to have a big year. Watch out for him on the power play this season. So Daschke is going to be a key new defenseman for the Grizzlies. He's going to play a lot of minutes, and there's some first-year pros, and we've seen it a lot of times with rookies that as the season wears on, you end up seeing those rookies get better and better. And I got a feeling that's going to be the case with Chase Hartge, who's going to be a first-year pro. He played in the EIHL a little bit last year after his college days ended at the University of Manitoba. Kyle Powell's a big guy, the biggest of all the Grizzlies at 6'6" and 225 pounds. And Kabore Dunn, who's 6'2" and 180 pounds. He's got good size. He's actually the first player that's got Ghana citizenship. He's from Canada, but he's also a citizen of Ghana, first citizen of Ghana to sign a pro contract. Hopefully we'll talk with him later on in the show. Operators are standing by right now in the Grizzlies office as tickets are available at utahgrizzlies.com, but you can also give them a call at 801-988-8000. That's 801-988-8000. See Keaton Donato hanging around. The guy that scored 24 goals with the Idaho Steelheads last year also had 4 goals in the AHL with the Texas Stars. And he's waiting. He could probably sit down right now as we're just having some fun. We're going to kind of start this shift where we just keep our shifts short and, kind of change on the fly here and there. I think Grizzlies fans are really going to like him being on their side this season. He had 2 goals and 3 assists against Utah last season as a member of the Idaho Steelheads. Keaton Donato joins us on the program, and what's like being here in Utah as a member of the Grizzlies as opposed to coming here as a visiting player.
It's definitely different. It's being on the flip side of it is a little weird, but I feel like I got those nerves out the week before, and seeing a lot of familiar faces and playing against those guys. It's definitely a cool challenge, though, and it's something I'm looking forward to this Friday moving forward.
I know I saw Adam Scheel was reassigned to the Grizzlies yesterday from the Colorado Eagles, and a couple of years ago, Scheel was outstanding with Idaho, and I think the Grizzlies are expecting some big things from him.
Yeah, no, Shealer's I've heard nothing but great things with him, and obviously been with him now for the last month or so, going through training camp, and he's an outstanding goaltender, and going to be a really big piece of our team here.
Although the Grizzlies goaltender you probably are familiar with is Jake Barcheski. I think you were teammates at Canisius College for 4 years.
Yeah. Me and Barza go way back. Probably one of my longest standing teammates. This will be our 5th year now together, and 4 years at Canisius. We were part of the same class, so we're super close and really good friends on and off the ice.
I think a lot of people have heard of Canisius College, but where exactly is it?
It's in Buffalo, New York, so right in the city there, and smaller school, but I was thankful for my 4 years there and everything I went through. It was a great opportunity.
Go to many Sabres games near there in Buffalo?
Yeah, a ton of Sabres games. Buffalo Bills, grew to be a pretty big Bills fan over the years, so it was a good opportunity just to be there and around, in a city that's full of sports and a lot to do there for sure.
So what's going to be the key for the Grizzlies here first couple months to get off to a fast start?
Just playing to our strengths. Obviously, we brought in a ton of speed. Our depth is there. We got a lot of good puck moving defensemen, and we're really deep in the goal crease. So, just coming off and hitting the ground running right from the start here, and try and get that first road win out of the way this weekend against Idaho.
Well, let's talk to your college teammate here soon, Jake Barcheski. Hey, welcome to Utah, Keaton, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
That's Keaton Mastro-Donato, the Canisius College product, who last year split time with the Idaho still had scoring 24 goals in 48 games, and he also had 4 goals in 19 AHL games with the Texas Stars. Let's talk to Keaton Mastro-Donato's college teammate at Canisius for 4 years. Last season transferred to the University of Michigan and had a solid year. Jake Barcheski joins us. Jake, welcome to Utah. How's it been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. Mountains are nice.
They don't have those mountains out there in Buffalo, do they? I hear they got those waterfalls like Niagara Falls, but they don't have those mountains.
Yeah, there's no mountains. It's it's pretty cool. Like never been in a place like this. So
what was your experience like at Canisius College? I mean, you had quite a bit of success there in 4 years.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a pretty big class coming in, so the coaches did a good job with that, and we all got really tight and close pretty quick. So whenever it came time for that 4th year, and we wanted it not only for ourselves but for the school and for the team. So it was pretty special, and for us to come together, it was fun.
Then last year, you went from one good college program to another playing at the University of Michigan. What was it like playing there?
Yeah, it's a special place. There's a lot of great memories there, a lot of fun games. It's just all about the experience, and it was unbelievable.
People haven't seen you. What are kind of your strengths as a goaltender? What's kind of what you're good at?
Right now, obviously, still learning just the pro game, and it's a big switch from college. So just trying to have quick feet, good post play, and obviously getting active behind the net, helping our D out. I'm just going to try to be a consistent goalie for you guys, and just make saves look easy.
Well, Jake, welcome to Utah. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Jake Barcheski, one of 3 goaltenders for the Grizzlies this season. Let's talk with Johnny Fairbrother, 4th-year pro. Spent the last couple years, spent last year in the Avalanche organizations. Back here again this year. Johnny, how's things going? How's camp been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's nice to get back in the swing of things and obviously shake the rust off and kind of just get going, and excited to get going on the first weekend here.
Kind of knock on wood, but hoping to stay healthy this season.
Yeah, that'd be a nice change. It's been a bit of a grind the last couple of years, so it'll be nice to be playing hockey and feel like a player again.
Seems like a pretty good defensive unit. Got a lot of guys with quite a bit of pro experience. I know you've been playing quite a bit with the James Shearer, who was solid here 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, we got a really good back end. I think all 8 guys can play and be effective for us, so it's going to be cool to kind of get out there and see what we can do and work as a unit.
What was it kind of like summer ago, I guess summer of 2023, getting traded from one organization to another, being with the Canadiens organization, then all of a sudden getting traded to Colorado?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. Obviously, I missed the entire 22-23 season, so I wasn't really expecting to be moved, but obviously, you take what you can get, and caught me by surprise, but it was kind of a good experience. I think I'd never been traded before, so it was learning experience for sure.
They at least tell you beforehand? I mean, you hear a lot of stories of guys, they get traded and they find out on social media or something like that.
I was pretty close. I missed probably 4 calls, and then I ended up just getting a text letting me know what happened, and that's how I found out.
So what do the Grizzlies need to do first couple months of the season to kind of get off to a fast start?
Start with scoring more goals than the other team. But I don't know, just stick to our game plan and work at our strengths, and things should go well.
I think I'll take notes on that. We just got to score more than them. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure. It's the name of the game.
right, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Johnny Fairbrother. Last season wore number 3 for the Grizzlies, and he'll be number 24 this season. Here's a guy that was red hot in the WHL postseason last year. He had 6 goals and 7 assists in 6 playoff games in the WHL last year. Had quite the breakout campaign. Bryley Wood joins us. He had a goal on Sunday in the preseason game out in front of the net. Bryley, welcome to Utah. What's kind of been your impression of the city so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Really enjoyed it here. It's beautiful. The guys have been great, so nothing but good things.
Seems like you just kept getting the WHL career that you were at, and just seemed like each year you just kept getting better and better.
Yeah, it took a bit to find my place in that league, but once I did, I felt really good about my game, and I think that helped coming to here.
So for people who haven't quite seen your game, what would you kind of describe yourself as a player?
Yeah, I like to be a big power forward, get in on the forecheck, make some hits and make plays, shoot the puck, and yeah, it's just all around power forward.
And Sunday in Idaho Falls, I get in front of the net quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm a big body, so I like to get in front of the net, tip pucks, and bang home some rebounds.
That postseason you had 13 points in 6 games, 6 goals and 7 assists. What was it like kind of being that hot there in the postseason?
Yeah, that was great. The year before we were in the finals with Winnipeg, so I was really hungry the next playoffs to try and get that back to the finals. But yeah, no, that was a good playoff run.
What are you looking forward most in your first season as a pro?
Just to take advice from the older guys and learn from them and their habits, and just all around enjoy the experience.
Bryley, welcome to Utah. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
That's Bryley Wood. We're at number 14. Hey, we keep our shift short here as we're changing on the fly here on the Utah Grizzlies Media Day show. And we're joined by a guy I know Grizzlies fans are glad to have on their side. He stopped a ton of pucks there for Idaho a couple years ago in their record-breaking season. Adam Scheel joins us. Adam, welcome to Utah. What's it like kind of being on this side of things?
Yeah, it's good to be here. I just showed up yesterday, so still kind of getting my footing down, meeting some of the guys, but everything's been good so far.
You had a pretty good year with the Chicago and the AHL last year, but you got in 42 games. It seemed like you were quite the workhorse for them.
Yeah, it was an interesting year with no affiliation, but I was able to play a lot and get some opportunities, so it was really good for me.
A couple years ago with Idaho, pretty much a record-breaking year. What was it about that team that consistently allowed for the type of success you guys had?
Yeah, we just had a very close group. Anytime anybody was doing anything, 5 or 6 guys were right there with them. So I think that translates onto the ice really well, regardless of, what team it is. So the closer you are, the more you want to go to battle for everybody else.
You played at a pretty good college, University of North Dakota. What was it kind of like playing for that program?
Yeah, that was very special. I was very fortunate to be able to have a chance to play there. The coaching staff was great to me. Loved it there. One of a kind place.
Or some of your goals here early on this season?
Yeah, just looking to create habits, create winning habits within the team, individually in my own game. Just trying to get to know the guys, and start stacking some wins together.
Adam Scheel, welcome to Utah. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you.
That's Adam Scheel. He's got pretty good size at 6'4" and 190 pounds. A couple years ago, he was second team all ECHL with the Idaho Steelheads as they had a record-breaking year and got to the Kelly Cup Finals, fell short, getting swept by the Florida Everblades. And we're joined by Vinnie Duplessis, who played 2 games at the end of last season for the Grizzlies. He played at Quinnipiac last season. Vinnie, welcome back to Utah. What are you looking forward to most this season?
Thank you. Just kind of get my first pro season going. I know I was here last year, but it was only for about a weekend. So just get my first pro year, get as many games as I can. When my name's called, play as good as I can, and yeah, have fun with it.
What'd you do in the off season to get ready for this year?
Just the usual, training in the gym in the morning, and then after that going on the ice maybe 2-3 times a week, and then kind of also taking the mind off of hockey sometimes, playing some golf, hanging out with family, and just making sure my mind's ready for my first pro season.
I guess all the games have kind of been in the state of Idaho, but for Grizzlies fans who just kind of watch the home games, what would you kind of describe yourself as a goalie?
I think I'm just energetic, fast goalie with a lot of torque in my legs, and I like to make the big saves when I'm needed. But just calm guy who likes to give the fans what they want and get some wins.
Vinnie Duplessis, welcome to Utah, and
thank you.
Good luck this season.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's Vinnie Duplessis. He played 2 games at the end of last year, played in a preseason game, and he'll be wearing number 35 for the Grizzlies this season. Now joining us, Nick Pastorius had some experience in this league with Newfoundland and the Iowa Heartlanders as well. Nick, welcome to you, Tom. What's kind of been your experience here so far?
Oh, it's been unreal, to be honest with you. The overall setup, here at the rink, it's, fantastic. And then, our living situation, and then obviously the boys as well. It's been, just an overall great start so far, and getting to know everybody. It's been a ton of fun.
How would you kind of describe your game? What kind of strengths you bring to the table?
Definitely energy. Just trying to go out there, do my best every shift, and see if I can play with energy every time I'm out on the ice, and just trying to stay strong to good habits and strong positionally.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
Definitely winning games with the boys and growing as a group. Every hockey season's filled with ups and downs, and I think we got a good group here that's going to stick together, and, experiencing things together is going to definitely help us grow.
How do you think camp's gone the first, the last week and a half? It seems like a pretty fast team. Maybe one of the faster you've been on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been fast. It's been intense. A lot of guys are earning respect from each other and from other people. So, it's definitely great to see going into the season, and that's definitely something we want to bring in.
Nick, welcome to Utah, and thanks for the time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's Nick Pastorius. He'll be wearing number 42 for the Grizzlies this year, 6'1", 215 pounds, Toronto, Ontario native, played the OSHL last season. Now we're joined by Craig Armstrong, first-year pro. Can be wearing number 3 for the Grizzlies this year, played in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League last season. Craig, welcome to Utah. What's it been like here so far?
It's been a fun couple of weeks. Been going with training camp and never been to Utah, so it's been nice seeing different place, different culture, and yeah, been good so far.
And the mountains, it's always easy to tell east and west, because you got the sun that rises in the east and obviously sets in the west. And I could always tell where I'm going based on where the mountains are.
Yep. That's definitely got a nice mountain range and nice place to live. I've liked it.
So people haven't seen you play. How would you kind of describe your game?
I would say I try and play like a fast style game and try and make plays and be skilled. But I also can get gritty and lay some hits, and yeah, nothing too special.
Seems like a pretty fast team. How would you kind of compare the speed of this team to some of the teams you played on at juniors?
Oh, it's definitely faster than teams I've been on before. Obviously, it's a big step going from junior to pro in 1 year. So, but I think overall it's a good group, and we got a lot of speed, and should be a good team.
What are you looking forward to most for your first season?
Just gain experience in the league and get one season down as a pro, and hopefully have some success and win games with all these guys.
And with a lot of players we see during the first season, it seems like, from month to month and even week to week, it just seems like the game just starts to slow down more and more.
Yeah, hopefully I get better and get used to the pace eventually, but obviously it's a team game, and all that matters is that we win.
Craig Armstrong, welcome to Utah.
Thank you.
We're keeping our shift short here on the Utah Grizzlies Media Day show. I think I left him hanging there. Let's joined by Kade Jensen now. Jensen played in 4 games with the Grizzlies last season before sustaining a season-ending injury. Kade, what was kind of the recovery process like after suffering the injury last season?
Yeah, hearing that news, it definitely wasn't ideal. I had a lot of time to kind of reflect, and physically it was a battle, but it was a little bit more of a battle mentally. But just happy to be back, given another chance. It was a long time, but yeah, happy to be back.
You reunite with James Shearer. You guys were teammates with the Brandon Wheat Kings. What's like reuniting with him?
It's good. Being with old teammates always helps out, and Shearsy was a great teammate back then, still is right now, and had a good friendship with him back in Brandon. So it's good to kind of reunite here.
Seems like a pretty good defensive unit that has a lot of guys that kind of complement each other. You got some big guys with fast players, and it seems like just about everybody's got skill on the defensive line.
Yeah. I think we have a lot of good guys that can do just about everything, and I think the best part is we can all kind of work together, work as a team, and take care of each other. That's about it.
Well, Cade, hopefully you find a way to stay healthy this season, and I think it's gonna be a pretty solid year.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. There's Kade Jensen. As we got this huge line of people. That's why we're keeping our shift short here. We're trying to. We got a good group of about 8 or 9 hanging out here along press row. As we're joined by maybe the biggest of all the Grizzlies, as Kyle Powell joins us. Kyle, what's your experience been like here so far in Utah?
It's been awesome. Yeah, the guys are great. Coaching staff's awesome, and just happy to be here.
I guess with your size, everybody just kind of assumes that you're gonna play a pretty physical style of hockey.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the only way I want to play, and I'll look to contribute that way for sure.
I guess with a lot of kind of bigger guys, you're talking about hockey always being that game's evolving into a ton of speed. How much work do you make on and making sure you're as quick as you can be?
Yeah, no, it definitely takes some adjusting, but yeah, you just kind of have to stick to the way you play, and yeah, it'll all work out.
Seems like a pretty good defensive unit. 3-4 defensive lines that look to be pretty strong. A lot of guys with experience, and the first-year guys seem to have quite a bit of talent as well.
Yeah, no, everyone looks great, and I think everyone's just excited to get going.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
Just winning with the boys and enjoying our time together and contributing as much as I can.
Kyle Powell, welcome to Utah.
Thanks.
That's Kyle Powell, 6'6", 225 pounds, and he's going to be a physical force for the Grizzlies this season. And now Blake Wells joins us. First full season as a pro. He played in 3 games with the Grizzlies at the end of last season. And Blake Wells joins us. What was kind of your training, the off season? You talk about full off season preparing, knowing that you're going to be a pro this season, as opposed to either being in juniors or being in college, where you got to either go to class or something like that. How'd you spend the time during the off season?
Oh yeah, I think you're definitely coming from college. Like you have to go to the season a lot faster, so you got like a couple months here to kind of relax and not skate as much, but work on your body and. It's pretty much what I did.
It seemed like when you came to town last season, it was almost like it was just every game was pretty much a must win from about the second half of the year on. What'd you learn from those first 3 games do you think can translate to this season?
I think it just shows like the desperation you need to play with and the intensity. Like you can't take any night off, any shift off. And I think that showed with last year and how we just kind of barely missed the playoffs. And I think we kind of got some fire in our stomach coming up here.
What kind of role are you hoping to play for the Grizzlies this season?
I'll do anything, but I'll just play fast and physical and try and get a couple of goals and see what happens.
Blake, welcome back to Utah, and good luck your first full season.
Thank you.
That's Blake Wells as he joins us. He was wearing number 54 to the start of training camp and switched to number 12. And that's what he'll wear for the Grizzlies this season. And now here's the first player that signed a contract from Ghana. Kabore Dunn joins us. Kabore, I guess that's kind of that milestone there where, it was when once you sign with the Grizzlies, all those facts about being the first player from Ghana. What's it like accomplishing that?
Yeah, I mean, I know one other hockey player from Ghana. He doesn't have a citizenship though, but I think we might be the only 2. I mean, I guess it looks like a big deal, but to me, it's just hockey life,
I think I fell asleep in geography class when we were talking about Ghana. Where exactly is it on the map?
It's in West Africa. 2 countries away from Nigeria, so where it kind of slopes and turns west, it's near there. Yeah.
What was your experience at Lindenwood College like the last couple of years?
It was good. Yeah, I learned a lot. I think it prepared me for where I am now. Nothing bad to say about it.
I guess for people that haven't seen you play, how would you describe your game?
I like to move pucks, kind of play fast, think the game.
There's quite a few experienced defensemen. What are you hoping to learn from guys like James Shearer and Johnny Fairbrother who have been in the pro game for a few years?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty special just to watch them every day and kind of pick up what they do, follow their lead, and learn from them.
Kabore Dunn, welcome to Utah.
Great, thank you.
Kabore Dunn will be wearing number 28 for the Grizzlies this season. Played at Lindenwood University. Was born at Mill Bay, British Columbia. As we're now joined by Neil Shea. It's not the first time he's been to the state of Utah. He came as a visiting player with the Newfoundland Growlers last season. Neil, welcome to Utah. What's it been like here so far?
It's cool. Obviously, last year when you came, you're staying in a hotel, so you don't get to see too much. But it's been great so far. It seems like a great spot to play.
And quite a few good forwards with the Growlers last year, but it's just kind of that unique situation where, geez, with a handful of games left in the season, team folded. Was it something to where you guys had kind of known all season that the team was in financial trouble, or is that something that just kind of came out of nowhere for the locker room?
It kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest with you. During the last month or two, it kind of got brought to our attention by an online article, and then obviously everything kind of spiraled downwards from there, and then obviously got told we were done. So it was a pretty crazy experience, especially first year in pro hockey.
I guess for those fans that weren't around Thanksgiving weekend to see you, how would you describe your game?
I think I play a pretty simple north-south game, pretty powerful skater, trying to make simple plays and be reliable.
He played at Northeastern University, also played at Sacred Heart University, where for a year he was teammates with former Grizzlies forward Dakota Raby, and spent some time with the Chicago Wolves in a game with Toronto last season. Neil Shea, welcome to Utah.
Thank you very much.
That's Neil Shea, had 18 goals and 19 assists last season with the Newfoundland Growlers. As we just continue rolling here on the Utah Grizzlies Media Day show, we've had quite a few good scoring defensemen, as Josh Wesley had 18 goals last year, which led all league defensemen. Derek Daschke was tied for second among all league defensemen with 16 goals. Derek, welcome to Utah. I imagine, last season was a pretty good year for you, your first full season as a pro. What'd you learn last season at Kalamazoo?
It's a lot different than the college game, because the college game's everyone's trying maybe a little bit harder. Everyone's skating like 100% every time they're on the ice, and the pro game is more controlled. And it's a longer season. 72 games is a lot more than 36, so double. So it's just, getting your pace of play and realizing that your position is a lot more than important than flying around all over the ice skating full speed.
How would you describe yourself as a player to the fans that haven't seen you play yet?
I think I'm a poised defenseman who handles the puck pretty well. Last year I was able to score some goals, so hopefully that'll carry into this season. I think I play a good 200-foot game, good in the O zone, good in the D zone, move pucks.
How much were you on the power play there in Kalamazoo?
I was in the power play all season there, yeah.
Were you more of a shooter, that was on the wings, or were you up top quarterbacking, or what was kind of your role in the power play with them?
I played all three positions up top, played both flanks and up top, so just kind of where the team kind of needs me to fit in.
Played at Miami of Ohio for 3 or 4 years, and then transferred to Minnesota Duluth. What was it kind of like both places, in Miami, Ohio, and then transferring to, a pretty well-known program, University of Minnesota Duluth?
Yeah, no, the NCHC, in my opinion, is probably the best conference. We get a couple players from there as well. It's just top to bottom. It's a really solid league, and there's a lot of pro players that come out of it. My experience at both Miami and Duluth were great. Obviously, Duluth is a more historic winning program. Miami's probably known. They were good in the early 2000s, but haven't been as good here recently. I think they're starting to climb again, but we'll see. But no, both experiences were great, and it was a very tough conference to play in for sure.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
I'm looking forward. I really like this area, Utah. It's beautiful. Like, I think from our apartments, it's almost like a 270-degree view of the mountains, which is pretty cool. So just looking forward to gaining more experience in the league and making some connections with people in town, and then exploring the area as well with the beautiful views.
Well, Derek, welcome to Utah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Derek Daschke, be wearing number 5 for the Grizzlies this season. He was born in Troy, Michigan. It's his second full season as a pro. He did spend the end of the 2022-23 season with the Toledo Walleye. We're joined by Cade Nelson, native of Nottingham, England. Your father is the coach over in the EIHL. I think you got to spend summer there and actually played in a few games over in that league. What was that experience like?
That was pretty cool. Pretty cool to start my professional experience before I got to come over here and kind of figure out the way of the game a little bit.
What's it kind of like having a father that was a player and was a pretty good player, and then also, was coach for quite a while?
It's cool. Definitely got told what to do a lot growing up, and he helped me a lot growing up. So,
unfortunately, we were able to miss the preseason games. I think you suffered an injury in practice last week. How's that coming along?
Well, it's sore. It's an injury, but it's getting better, so it should be good soon.
I guess for the fans that haven't seen you play, how would you describe your style of play?
I'm still trying to figure that out, really, but I like to keep it simple and pass pucks.
If I remember right, you played at the University of Alaska Fairbanks last season. What was that experience like?
Yeah, I was there the last 2 years. It was fun. Got to travel around America and see some different spots, but we lived around a couple moose, so it was pretty cool.
Cade Nelson, welcome to Utah.
Thank you.
As Cade Nelson will be wearing number 27 for the Grizzlies, first season as a pro, 23 years old. Spent some time in the EIHL earlier this season. As we're now joined by James Shearer's college teammate, Tyson Upper, first-year pro, played at the University of Calgary the last 3 years. Tyson, welcome to Utah. What's it been like so far?
It's been great. I played with a couple guys here, so it's good to see them again, play with them. And then all the guys have been very good to me so far. So great team we have here, and city's beautiful.
I guess being from the Alberta area, you almost have to take sides with, Oilers, Flames. Which side were you on?
Obviously the Flames. You got to keep the hometown, cheer for them. They're 4-0 right now, so they're going to keep it going.
Just don't tell Coach Kanasowicz, who's an Oilers fan.
Yeah, I probably will keep that silent.
How would you describe yourself as a player?
I'm a fast energy guy. I'll buzz up and down the ice and keep it going all game long.
Seems like your speed probably matches pretty well with this unit. It seems like a pretty fast team.
Yeah, we are buzzing in practice right now, and you know what? It's going to be a really fast team, going to be fun to play with.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
Winning games. I'm excited to do that. Excited to spend time with the boys, get to know them, and explore the city.
They're about the sixth guy to say, hey, we're looking forward to winning this season.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyson, welcome to Utah.
Thank you.
That's Tyson Upper. Will be wearing number 26 for the Grizzlies this season. First-year pro, native of Calgary, Alberta, 22 years old. And joining us now is Tyson Upper's college teammate at the University of Calgary. There seems to be like a 6 degrees of separation because you played with Tyson Upper for a year at Calgary. Last season with Coventry, Chase Hartge joined the club probably halfway through the season. You played with Kade Jensen, the WHL. So it seems like a reunion of a lot of sorts. Plus, you're coming back a place you were at a couple years ago.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky over the years, honestly, just playing with a whole bunch of guys that I've played with before. So, walking into the dressing room makes it a little easier, a couple guys to start off with. And yeah, kind of just set stone for the year early.
Seems like a lot of players go from this league, go and play in the EIHL. You were with Coventry last year. What was that experience like? Not only playing hockey, out there in a different country, but probably seeing a lot of players you either played with or played against in that league as well.
Yeah, it was the first time I was ever overseas over there, so I figured it was a good way to do it, play a little hockey at the same time. And yeah, like you said, a lot of familiar faces over there. Either played against them or played with them too. So. It wasn't too different of a game than North America.
So what was your decision like coming back here and playing for the Grizzlies, playing for Coach Kanasowicz? What kind of went into the decision to come back and play in Utah?
I think just the familiarity. Knowing how good the fans are here, how good the organization is. Knowing Ryan as well, and then a couple guys on the team too. Didn't make the decision too hard.
Seemed like a pretty good defensive end. A lot of guys that kind of have skill sets that complement each other. You got size with speed and a bit of playmaking ability. It seems like a pretty good blue line this year.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of everything. I think our team, honestly, in general, is just really good up and down the lineup. So I think, we'll be a fast team, but we'll also play physical and gritty at times too. And I think, we got a little bit of everything.
I guess being a little bit more of an experienced guy, especially with the experience here, do you feel the need to kind of take a role as a leader on this team?
I think I try to lead by example wherever I go. It's a team, so we got a lot of leaders on this team. And, that's kind of every year. It's it's good. Like everyone leads by example. We got guys that are louder and guys that are quieter. Like everyone leads a little bit different. So I think we got a great group and good mix this year, and I think it'll turn out well.
My memory's good. You wore number 10 a couple years ago with the Grizzlies. It looks like this year you're wearing number 74. Is that your choice, or is that just the one that Jackson Hibbert, the equipment manager, gave you?
I've worn a lot of different numbers over the past 5 years, so I think couldn't steal numbers from other guys. So it was one of my later choices, but I'm definitely not mad about it. I wasn't too picky this year with it.
Well, James Shearer, welcome back to Utah.
Good to see you again, T-Bone.
A couple years ago, James Shearer was one of Utah's most dependable defensemen. He's got 80 games of experience with the Grizzlies over a 2-season stretch. Last year was with the Coventry Blaze of the EIHL, and he's back in Utah for his third full season as a pro. Cole Gallant joins us. He was third on the team in assists and fourth on the team in points last season. Cole, what kind of went into your decision to come back and play another year here in Utah?
I just really like the state of Utah. Like we have a great fan base too, and playing under Kiz and Christian Horn, I think it's a great experience for a first year. And I think stepping in, doing it again with them, we want to win some games this year. So
There were some wild games last season. I kind of remember that military night in mid-March when we were down 4-1 and scored 3 goals in 68 seconds. Was that kind of the wildest night you'd been in pro hockey?
Yeah, I would definitely say that was one of the wildest nights I've ever played in hockey in general. Just coming back, being down 4-1 in the third period, and obviously hats off to like the fans for being there for us and sticking with us through the whole game, and we gave them a show that game.
So a lot of good forwards on this this lineup. I know you're playing with Neil Shea quite a bit there in the preseason. Seems like a group that's not only got a lot of speed, but got some finishers as well.
Yeah, well, I think up and down the lineup we're really strong. I think a lot of guys can play with anybody, so it doesn't. I don't really think it matters who we're playing with. I think everyone's got a really good skill set. Everyone's really smart, fast, and I think it would be really good up and down the lineup.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
I think a lot of guys probably said it, but winning games.
And being a guy that's been here before, you take a little bit more of a leadership role, knowing the system and knowing how things work.
Yeah, definitely playing a year helps. I think definitely stepping into a leadership role will be good, but just kind of leading by example, playing the game the right way, and hopefully guys will follow as well.
Cole Gallant, welcome back for your second full season.
Yep, thank you.
That's Cole Gallant will be wearing number 25 for the Grizzlies this year, native of Dover, Florida. That's where he was born. As we're joined by Dylan Fitze, 21 goals, 20 assists last season. Dylan, what kind of came into your decision to come back and play another year in Utah?
I think it was easy for me. Knew that I was wanting to stay in North America, and Utah was my first choice, and was happy to be able to come back this year.
Seems like the love of the game kind of brings you back each and every year. There's something about this game that kind of just year in and year out brings you back.
Yeah, I think for me, just after I got traded a few years ago here to Utah, really found a passion for the game again, and that year we had a good team, went deep in the playoffs, and kind of been chasing that ever since.
So as a guy that's been here, played a few years, do you kind of take that leadership role, knowing the system and, knowing how things work?
Yeah, for sure. I think just being an older guy, letting younger guys lean on me if they've got questions, whether it's hockey related or apartment related, whatever it might be, I'm here to help them out.
What was your most favorite memory last year? The two really stand out: the overtime game winner against Newfoundland and the hat trick against Kansas City. Is one kind of stand out over the other?
I think the Newfoundland one. That was the first time my parents had been there to see me play live pro hockey. So having them in the stands and having that was kind of a cool moment to have with my family there.
I hear it was kind of a blizzard that week in Newfoundland.
Yeah, it was freezing.
All right, thanks. Thanks for the time. That's Dylan Fitze. Everybody knows him, fan favorite, and he's going to have a great year. And for my money, a guy that might be the MVP of training camp in the 2 preseason games, Mick Messner, scored the 3-on-5 goal on Sunday in Idaho Falls. He had 3 shorthanded goals last year, but none of them were 3-on-5 like Sunday. That play, was it just one where he just kind of jumped in and,
Yeah, the player bringing the puck up mishandled it, so I was able to poke it past him, and those chances do not come often on a 5-on-3, and I was lucky enough to pot it.
What'd you learn last season, your first full season as a pro, played in all 72 games? Was there, a few things that kind of stand out that you learned last season?
Yeah, there's a number of things, but first and foremost being, I think I kind of gained some confidence back compared to my college playing days. Just the coaching staff trusted me a bit more than maybe when I played college. So that's the biggest thing I learned, was maybe gaining some more confidence with the puck.
That kind of go into your decision to come back and play here another year?
Yeah. I was thrilled to be able to come back and play here again. It looks like we have a great group, so I'm really excited.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
The other guys have all said it, but winning hockey games.
Hey, that's the best thing. Nothing can beat a win, especially on the road against a good team. Hopefully, Grizzlies can get one on Friday against Idaho.
Exactly.
All right, Mick, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Mick Messner. Scored a big goal on Saturday and Sunday in the preseason. Had 15 goals and 23 assists last year, and he's going to be a key contributor this season. Luke Manning joins us, first full season as a pro, and your pro debut was turned out to be a crazy game. You may play 10 years and maybe not play a game quite like that. The Grizzlies were down 4-1, scored 3 goals in 68 seconds, and then you had a breakaway in overtime got slashed, earned a power play, and the Grizzlies ended up scoring on that power play. What was that night like for you?
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was getting into coming to Utah for the first time. So having that be my first game was pretty exciting. I mean, the barn was rocking, and obviously we had quite a crazy comeback at the end there. So that was pretty exciting first one.
This will be your first off season, knowing that you're going to be a pro. Other years, you had to either worry about going to class or other things. Did you prepare any differently in the off season, knowing that you're going to be a pro as opposed to going back and playing in college?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, every year you're kind of just trying to get a little bit better throughout the summer. Kind of working on things that you think you should have been better at the year prior. So, kind of just got back to work after I left Utah in the spring. Kind of put my nose to the grindstone and ready for the season this year.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
The guys already said it. I mean, everybody's saying winning games. So hopefully we can go on a few good streaks. Hopefully we do that.
Luke Manning, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Luke Manning, first full season as a pro. Last season, started the year at the University of St. Thomas, came to the Grizzlies in March, and he's poised to have a breakout year. We're joined by Brian Yoon. Last season led the Grizzlies in plus minus at a plus 11 rating, was here for the first half of the season. And then I think it was January 18th. You got a call from the Hartford Wolfpack. I think originally you were loaned there and then ended up staying the entire season there, scored 2 goals in 18 games. What was that experience like in the AHL?
It was really good. I had a great time, great first half of the year here. And, I was grateful to get the opportunity up in Hartford. You learn a lot, especially going up in a league. And, I'm just grateful for that opportunity.
With last year being your first season as a pro, it seems like with a lot of first-year players, you keep getting better each week. And, it seems like the adjustment to the speed of the game, it takes a little bit. But, once you get used to that, it seems like, as we see with a lot of first-year pros, you just keep getting better and better. What did you learn last season as you went along that you probably didn't know before last season that kind of is helpful?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a learning process, especially in your first year. But I think the biggest thing that you take out of it is just building confidence in yourself and trusting your instincts and trusting your game. Because we're all good players here. We made it this far, so just learning how to trust yourself and play within the system, it just comes with experience.
I know with the preseason game on Sunday, I played quite a bit with Daschke. He seems to be quite the player. He had 16 goals with Kalamazoo last season. If you're paired up with him quite a bit this season, you're probably going to like playing with a good hockey player like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, me and Dash go pretty far back. I've played against him since, we were 15, 16 years old. So I've known him for a long time and, played against him in school and, he's always been a great player.
Well, Brian Yoon, welcome back to Utah and good luck this season.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's Brian Yoon's second year as a pro. A couple years ago, he was the captain at Colorado College. And Brian Yoon, who led the Grizzlies in plus minus last season at plus 11s, back. He'll be wearing number 4 for the Grizzlies this year. Aragon scored a goal on Saturday night in the preseason opener, 7:30 into the first period. 10 goals and 6 assists in 59 games last year. And Aaron, it seems like, Coach has been talking about you all through camp as being a guy that's really taken a step forward this season. What'd you do in the offseason to get prepared for this upcoming campaign?
Yeah, so I just worked really hard. I just want to help contribute a little more and help to win some more hockey games.
It seemed like Saturday you were on a line with Mick Messner and Luke Manning. It seemed like your skill sets kind of complemented each other pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, those are 2 great players, and they make it easy to play with, and I thought we were working great off each other.
What kind of went in your decision to come back and play another season here in Utah?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. When I first got here last year, I was pretty amazed how first class an organization is, the trainers, the equipment manager, everything. So I really liked it, and I really like the city.
I'm not going to ask you what you're looking forward to most because winning seems to be the one, but what are you looking forward to this season?
I mean, yeah, definitely winning hockey games. I know all of us want to make a playoff run, so definitely looking forward to that.
Well, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Aragon wearing number 15 for the Grizzlies this season, had a preseason goal, had 10 goals and 6 assists last year, and I'm starting to think that we might have ran out of players as Aragon walks out. He might be the last one. We got to do a little bit of scoreboard watching. I think that is the last players. We've talked to pretty much everybody on this Grizzlies roster. We haven't talked with Chase Hartje, the first-year pro. I think he might be the only one. Last year it was Dylan Fitze. We didn't talk to Dylan Fitze, but we talked with everybody else. I guess the moment is I just lost my train of thought, and we had an awkward exit to that Dylan Fitze interview. But it's going to be a ton of fun this season as we're hanging out at Maverik Center all season long for the 30th year of Utah Grizzlies hockey. And remember to get your tickets, utahgrizzlies.com, or call 801-988-8000 as operators are standing by. This season, we're going to have a lot of Grizzlies trivia, and we got some Grizzlies trivia. We'll give you the answer in a couple minutes, but think to the NHL head coaches. 32 NHL teams, 32 NHL head coaches. There are 3 current NHL head coaches who are former Grizzlies players. We'll give you about 4 or 5 minutes to think about who are the 3 current NHL head coaches who are former Grizzlies players. We'll give you the answer here in a couple of minutes. We got a lot of great promotions to talk about for the upcoming season. Don't forget the home opener will be on Friday, November 1st, as the Grizzlies take on the Allen Americans. And yes, Allen is the ECHL affiliate to the Utah Hockey Club. The Grizzlies will have 3 road games to start the season. The home opener is on November 1st. It's opening weekend presented by Smith's as we celebrate 30 seasons of Utah Grizzlies hockey. Face-off will be at 7:10, and then November 2nd, which continues with opening weekend, will be Dia de los Muertos, Hispanic Heritage Night. I think the Grizzlies are wearing specialty jerseys for the occasion. And then the following week, the Tahoe Night Monsters from Lake Tahoe will be in town for the first time ever as they're first season. They're in their first season of existence. The Grizzlies will play them quite a few times here this year. In fact, I think the Grizzlies are playing Tahoe. I'm pretty sure I got in front of me somewhere, but they're going to play them 9 or 10 times this season. November 9th is going to be Pucks and Pups. That's right. It's really the pooch on the pond. That's pretty much what it is. Bring your dog to the game. We'll have some dog-friendly festivities as well, and we'll also have a game on Sunday, November 10th, which will conclude the first homestand of the regular season. Black Friday, $12 tickets for the Black Friday special against the Indy Fuel. Indy has Nathan Burke, a former Grizzly, on their current roster. Healthcare Appreciation Weekend will be on December 6th and 7th, presented by U of U Health. That's going to be at 7 o'clock as the Grizzlies take on the defending Western Conference champion Kansas City Mavericks. And it's going to be a 2-night event. Healthcare Appreciation Weekend, presented by U of U, will be on December 6th and 7th. The Teddy Bear Toss and Ugly Sweater Night will be on December 21st as Utah takes on the Tahoe Night Monsters. Last season, Grizzlies fans brought 3,647 teddy bears, which was a team record, and hopefully we'll best that mark this year. It's also Ugly Sweater Night. The Grizzlies will be wearing ugly sweater-themed specialty jerseys, and the Grizzlies have performed outstandingly in the previous 2 Ugly Sweater Nights, and so that's going to be on December 21st. Hockey Furs on January 25th. The Grizzlies will take on the Wichita Thunder. February 1st is the annual Guns and Hoses night. We'll have multiple police officer versus firefighter charity games in the afternoon leading up to the Grizzlies game at 7:10. Fishing night presented by Mountain Land Supply Company is going to be on February 15th. It's the first ever Grizzlies fishing night as the Grizzlies look to hook the Steelheads. Grizzlies will be wearing fishing-themed specialty jerseys, and I'm really curious as to what that's going to look like. If you're thinking about a hockey jersey with a fishing vest on it, well, that's going to be quite the look. That's going to be on Friday. That's going to be on Saturday, February 15th. You got to make a note on the calendar for the Grizzlies' first ever fishing night. Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend will be on the following week, February 21st and 22nd. That's Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. Grizzlies will be facing Rapid City that weekend. Military Night presented by Mountain Land will be on March 7th. I can't guarantee it's going to be as exciting as last season's Military Night Miracle. We talked about with Luke Manning, the Grizzlies trailed 4-1 and scored 3 goals in 68 seconds, and then Josh Wesley scored the overtime game winner. This year it's going to be on March 7th as the Grizzlies take on the Tulsa Oilers. VU Sports Night presented by Hercules First Credit Union. Youth Sports Night will be on March 28th. The Grizzlies will take on the Allen Americans. 801 weekend with throwback jerseys will be on March 29th as the Grizzlies take on the Allen Americans. And the final weekend of the regular season, at least the homestand, the Grizzlies will finish up on the road with 4 or 5 straight games away from Maverik Center. But the final home series will be April 4th and 5th against Tahoe. April 4th is going to be Star Wars night. That's the next to last home game of the regular season. And then Fan Appreciation Night presented by Les Schwab will be on Saturday, April 5th. So that's going to be a ton of fun. We got a lot of fun things here in store. And really, that's the key word, is fun. And we're having that here on the Media Day specials. We've talked with pretty much everybody on this year's Utah Grizzlies club. Now, let's get back to the trivia question. We're going to have Grizzlies trivia questions and fun facts all season long as we're celebrating 30 years of Utah Grizzlies hockey in the Salt Lake Valley. There are 3 current NHL head coaches who are former Grizzlies players. Have you given it some thought? Well, one of them is Jim Montgomery, the Boston Bruins head coach, who actually during the Grizzlies AHL era, which came from 2001 through 2005, the Grizzlies had 4 years where they were a member of the American Hockey League. Jim Montgomery actually has the most goals, assists, and points during that era, that 4-year stretch in the AHL. He had 139 points for the Grizzlies, 50 goals and 89 assists. Jim Montgomery, the current Boston Bruins head coach, is one of them. If you watched Monday's game and if you watched the Devils broadcast, they pointed out that Sheldon Keefe finished up his playing career by appearing in 4 games and scoring 1 assist for the 2004-05 Utah Grizzlies. Now, they had a separate trivia question. Obviously, Sheldon Keefe was a member of that team. Sheldon Keefe, the trivia question that they had was, who was the Grizzlies NHL affiliate that season? The Grizzlies were in the AHL. The NHL affiliate was the Arizona Coyotes, coincidentally enough. So Jim Montgomery, Sheldon Keefe, former Grizzlies players turned NHL head coaches. The other one is Scott Arnold of the Winnipeg Jets. He was a member of the Turner Cup championship team back in the 1995-96 season. Arnold was a key contributor in the postseason. He had 10 goals and 7 assists in 22 playoff games for the Grizzlies back in 1996. He was actually second on the team in playoff points that year. I guess another trivia question. Who was first in 1996? It is still a prominent hockey figure, somebody that's still in the game. It's Andy Brickley, 19 points for the Grizzlies back in the 1996 postseason. Ron Brickley, obviously a current TV analyst with the Boston Bruins. So we're just full of fun facts and trivia questions. We'll go through them all season long and have a good time, as we'll be on Flow Sports for the video feed all season long. And we'll also have audio coverage on the Grizzlies YouTube channel, which is pretty much the same spot that you're viewing this Media Day coverage. And it looks like everybody's just about wrapped up, as we're going to have a fun time this season. No doubt about it. The 30 years of Utah Grizzlies hockey, will celebrate it all season long. The Grizzlies did spend 6 seasons in the old International Hockey League from 1995 till the time the league folded back in 2001, and then 4 years in the American Hockey League. And this is the 20th season of Utah Grizzlies hockey in the current ECHL format. Ryan Kanaswich back for his 4th season. Christian Horn will be in his 2nd season as Grizzlies assistant coach. Jackson Hibbard will be the equipment manager. It'll be his 2nd season as head equipment manager. And Colin Lee is back for his fifth season as Grizzlies athletic trainer. And I will begin my 7th season as the voice of the Utah Grizzlies. And we're certainly thrilled to get started, as Utah Grizzlies hockey will begin the season on Friday night in Boise. There may be some tickets if you want to head down to Boise. It's kind of odd that the Grizzlies are only playing 1 game there this weekend, where normally you get either a 2-game series or maybe even a 3-game series. It's just a 1-game set on Friday night at Idaho Central Arena. Coverage begins at 6:50, face-off at about 7:10 in the Mountain Time Zone. And then next week, the Grizzlies will be in Rapid City for a 2-game set on October 25th and 26th. That's going to be a Friday and Saturday set against the Rapid City Rush. And then the Grizzlies home opener will be on Friday, November 1st, as they take on the Allen Americans. It'll be the first of a 2-game set, as opening weekend this season is presented by Smith's. Well, that'll about wrap things up, as we had a lot of fun over the last hour, talked with a lot of Grizzlies players, and I think the key word is everybody is looking forward to winning this season. And with the defensive unit the Grizzlies have coming back, as well as some of the new players, and the Grizzlies do have quite a bit of size with Kyle Powell and Kabore Dunn, guys like that that are going to be new to the mix. I got a feeling that it seems to be a pretty good defensive unit, despite, last weekend, where Idaho did have 6 goals in 1 game and 7 in another. I do know that the defensive unit's got the talent, and I got a feeling they're going to put together a pretty good year. And we got quite a few good returning forwards, whether it be Dylan Fitze, Cole Gallant, Mick Messner was outstanding in the preseason. And I got a feeling Luke Manning in his first full season as a pro is going to come up with 20-plus goals. He's really going to be electric. And the first guy we talked to today that kicked things off is Keaton Donato. And watch out for him on the power play. He's a strong finisher. He moves around really, really well, and he's got an outstanding shot. I got a feeling Donato is poised for a big year, and I think Neil Shea is going to have a good year. I think that the big thing with Neil Shea is he seems to be a pretty good fit for Ryan Kanasowicz's system, and so I think there's a lot to be optimistic for heading into this upcoming 2024-25 season, which, as we mentioned before, is the 30th in Utah Grizzlies history. Well, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to join us again on Friday for the regular season opener. As coverage begins at 6:50, face-off at 6:10, as Grizzlies take on the arch rival Idaho Steelheads. Until then, I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies 2024-25 Media Day show on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.